Good morning, ninjas. Good morning. We're taking care of this one, just blowing a bunch of leaves down into the woods. And we did run it with the mower just to break up some of the leaves, and now we're just kind of blowing off the remainder of it. We're gonna basically blow the leaves down towards the woods. So Sassy's just finishing that up. Good morning, ninjas. It's Pump Monday, and I am pumped today, man. I'm telling you, I am pumped today. Ugh, I don't know why. Well, why are you pumping it? Because it's Pump Monday, that's why. Sass, anything before we...
Ain't Thanksgiving coming up in a couple weeks?
Yes.
We should offer body disposal.
Body disposal?
Yes, for every husband that says, is that turkey ready yet? She says, I'm gonna kill him if you ask me that one more time. Do that body disposal.
Oh, turkey time. You like turkey?
Oh, I love turkey.
What kind of turkey? How do you like it done?
Oh, I like it baked in the classic way.
Do you like it moist?
Oh, yes. Use the word moist on Monday.
So, we'll see ya.
Pump Monday.
Look at that, we got a scabber over here. Gentleman mowing. So we're not the only crazy ones out here, right? That's good to see. We just pulled up at this one, guys, and I told Sassy I want to talk to you ninjas a little bit. We already did a couple I didn't record, but I said go ahead and just run it, and there's no weed eating here, at least not this time. I think we did it last time, and then we'll probably do it again a little bit next week. So sometimes some of the ones, you know, they don't require weed eating, or you can just skip it. But he's gonna mow it, and I want to talk to you guys, but well, I want to record it. I want to see if this is a cheetah or no. That's definitely a turfy. I think it's an older turfy or the newer turfy. No, it's the newer turfy. No, it's an older turfy. Yep. So how you can tell the older turfies, they have that, and his cup holder is completely bent. And that's one of the things that I've heard a lot of people complain is the cup holder on the old turfies, it was like sticking out. It's like asking to get bent. You know, it'll catch on the limbs and things. And his is completely bent. So on the new turfy, which is the one I had at the time that I had it, they didn't have those cup holders. At least not sticking out. And there's old sassafras right over there. All right, guys, so real quick, I hope all you doing good. Like I said, it's Pump Monday, and I'm gonna kind of talk about the differences between lawn care maintenance guys and the landscapers. And you know, one of the things I've noticed is a lot of lawn care guys are transitioning into landscaping, or they're slowly working away, you know, picking up more landscaping jobs. And things like that is fine during the dead season or slower season of mowing. I have done it, and I'll, like right now, if someone had like a huge bed design or something, this is the time of the year where I could pick something like that up and take my time and really do a nice good cleanup, maybe a wall, or I'm not really into the whole retaining wall stuff, but like, you know, like a border around the bed. But I got two guys mowing on each side of me. It's like, so I get it. A lot of people want to transition, and they do transition into that field. Now here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with it, and there's good money in it. And I'm speaking from experience because I know you can charge more, but it's also bigger jobs and it takes time, which is one of the things that I don't really care to do in the middle of the season. I have so many yards that need to be mowed, I want to focus on just mowing. The problem is the difference between lawn care maintenance guys and landscapers, in my opinion, is I think landscapers, it's tougher. Not just work. Work is definitely tougher. The money's greater, okay? But the work is tougher. But it's also tougher to keep up with that. So like, you'll get a landscaping job, and then like, okay, and you may make $5,000, $10,000 on it, right? Just depends, of course, the size of it and what it consists of. But what do you do after you're done? Sometimes you're not gonna have another landscaping job for that amount instantly, okay? So it could be months, it could be weeks. I mean, sometimes it could be days, I guess. So what do you do? So that means it's tougher overall. So the work is tougher, the money is greater, but then it's tougher trying to find that next thing. Okay, so which makes people try to upsell things more, makes people go hunting, makes people, and I get it, and that's fine. It's more of a hustle. I mean, mowing is a hustle too, don't get me wrong. You got to find your clients, you got to go out there, throw out your flyers, do whatever you got to do. But the difference is, mowing guys, once you get a client, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a client for life. A couple of things, and it's consistent money. But a couple of things that could go wrong where a client might drop you. One, you may do a bad job, they're not happy. That can happen from time to time. You can't please everybody out here. Not everybody's going to be happy with what you're doing. And that's understandable. But a lot of times people can also hurt for money, right? So their expenses may be greater than what they realized at the time when they hired you, and then they go, lawn care guy, I don't need him, you know, I can do this myself now that he's brought the yard back in shape. I can, you know, and so that can happen. Or people move. So a lot of people can just move, and that happens quite often, actually. People move. But also a lot of times when they move, if you have a good relationship with them, they will, you know, mention you at the closing and things like that, of, you know, when they are selling the house, and say, hey, I have a lawn care guy who's been doing great. Here's his card if you want to continue. It has happened to me where I have continued with new owners. So, but overall, I think lawn maintenance guys have more chances of just having that consistent income. Yeah, this guy's eyeballing me, recording. Are you a ninja? Are you watching me? Maybe he's watching me. I don't know. I see them khaki shorts. But that's awesome, man. I'm glad that there's other people doing the, you know, this time of the year mowing, and not just me and Sassy right there. You know what I'm gonna keep an eye on when he gets real close to where my truck is? How he turns. Does he turn to shoot the grass towards my truck? I'm actually quite curious. No, he does. I think what he's doing, since I'm parked right here, he comes next to my truck, which is very appreciated and very professional. Yep. That's awesome. That tells you that man knows what he's doing, and that's cool. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, ninjas. I think you're more likely to develop a income and have it and generate it on a consistent basis, where you're more likely to keep it going, right? And it's harder for hardscapers or landscapers to do that because the amounts are so greater. So a lot of people would rather just have you keep going on a smaller amounts, right, for just maintaining the yard, than who's going to constantly spend big money on big projects. I'm sure it happens at some point down the road. You know, some people, some mansions and people who are developing homes and building homes, and they really need a lot of work. But overall, I think it's really harder. So that's the difference between lawn care guys and landscaper guys. And I understand a lot of lawn care guys, are slowly transitioning into landscaping. Are you transitioning into landscaping?
He didn't beat me off his yard. He mowed an empty lot. He didn't strap it. I got straps back there.
Well, it's a scabber.
Yeah, just ain't no straps out here.
No, it's a scabber. Open these.
Rolling up back like he beat a ninja on the right. You didn't beat nobody.
You guys were making a lot of noise, so I had the windows closed. But let me know on that. Comment down below and let me know, what is your plan? Where are you going with your business?
If he'd been mowing this and I've been mowing that, I'd have whooped him all over this place. You don't know who you're messing with. Roll up on no turf tiger, act like you whoop no right. No right's faster. That's it. Race car engine strapped to a tank. I can take any time.
Them scabbers, man. Them scabbers are a piece of work. Just make sure you keep greasing things every day.
Well, that's always important in every aspect of life.
I really love those rights, just from the fact, for number one thing, there's so many things, right? Just, you don't have to worry about greasing anything. I bought a beautiful battery powered grease gun.
DeWalt, maybe?
DeWalt, yeah. My mind froze there for a second. Beautiful, and it works great, and I actually miss it. I need to start to use it. I need to grease some other things, and I'll show you. I'll make a video on that. But yeah, I specifically bought that because we got tired of pumping, and the scabbers needed apparently every day to be greased. So that's why I purchased that, and it was like $200-300 bucks, whatever it was, and now it's just sitting. So anyway, Grease your scabbers, ninjas. We'll see you later. Did a good job there, Sassafras, but one thing missing. Where are your shades at?
Well, they in the truck.
You know them leaves and all kinds of things can be flying up in the air and get inside your hoodie and tickle you around your neck and...
That all sounds super exciting. No, I couldn't see with the sunglasses on, so I was like, in this yard especially where tree limb stuff fall, you never know what's in
What he's saying, there's really no sun. That's the thing.
It does add a level of...
You guys saw, right? He basically mowed the yard like we normally would during the mowing season, but instead he mulched up a lot of those leaves, and now he's just going to do a final blow off, clean everything up around, and we'll repeat the cycle next week. So in order to charge for a cleanup, I'm charging for same as a mowing. He's headed over to that one. Okay, it's not on schedule today, but I told him if you want to, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. And he's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. And we're just gonna kind of blow off the the driveway, the walkway. Because, I don't know, make it look nice for the customer, you know, why not? I'm not gonna charge him anything extra, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I told Sassy we don't have to, he's not scheduled. But he was like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Okay. When you are on a regular maintenance, then what that means, we're just maintaining the leaves to keep it off the yard, off the driveways, off the walkways, mulching them, whatever. And they understand that we're gonna be here every week, every 2 weeks, whatever. It helps them out because they're like, hey, I'm not only getting the mowing for this price, but if I just stay consistent with this company, they're gonna take care of the leaves for me, and it's just same price. They love it, man. They love it, and I love the service. I love to take care of them, even though on some yards we lose a little bit more time than normal when we just mow. But it's well worth it, ninjas. It goes back to what I was talking to you earlier. Consistent money, non-stop, consistency. And that's what you're trying to do in this business. One of the reasons a lot of businesses fail, or a lot of guys are afraid to start a lawn care business, is because they're so worried about the slow season. They're so worried about the dead season. They're so worried of, oh, if I quit my full-time job and I go into this, I might be okay during the season, during the summer and the spring, but what do I do in the fall and the winter when grass stops growing? And this is what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is you're trying to keep yourself busy while you're helping customers, just to get yourself through those slow months of growth on the grass. Okay, now use your best judgment. Okay, if you know that there's a yard that drops down so many leaves every week or every 2 weeks, and you just could not charge it for that regular price that you normally would when you mow their yard, then don't do it. Then just give them a new price and say, hey, we could get on a new schedule every week, every 2 weeks for a new price, but I would keep up with your leaves. Be smart about it. Don't put yourself in a bind where you're like, you know, you just took on a huge leaf cleanup and you're doing it for 50 bucks, okay? When the leaf cleanup should be about 500 bucks or 300 bucks. Don't do that. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm saying is, if you have a $50 yard, just an example, and you're there for 20-30 minutes, would you rather be there for 45 minutes to 50 minutes and still make your $50 every week? Or would you just rather that customer say, don't come back, we'll see you in spring? I'm sorry, I would rather be consistent and make that 50 bucks every week. The lawn care maintenance guys are just the consistency, and you generate the income, and it's nonstop, it's consistent. You can set that up for yourself. And you just keep going. And the hardscape and landscape guys who truly just do that, you know, they have to work a little harder to land those big jobs. You know, their little $500 jobs, for example, won't cut it. They really need some of those big hardscape landscape jobs to keep their business going, because that's what they're doing. And it's kind of like a Wright and a Scabber. A Wright is kind of like the lawn maintenance guy. It just keeps going, and it's consistent, and it just keeps going. And a Scabber is kind of like a hardscape landscape guy who has to work extra hard to just keep going. And got to constantly grease them scabbers. You got to constantly you got to grease them to keep going.
That's right. They would just quit on you.
Anyway, Nature Minute with Sassy.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Did you know that snails can hibernate for 3 years?
No.
That's right. Snails and teenagers are the only things that can do that. In the whole world, 3 years worth of sleep, and they still be tired when they get up moving like they ain't got nowhere to be.
This man said teenagers.
It's true though. Teenagers is slow. They just creep. You know, people talk about the elderly get out and get it like that young lady.
Yeah, we did. We saw, like, what, 80 years old?
Oh yeah, she had there getting it like
easy. She had a curved shaft weed eater. She was 80-something years old at least. Curved shaft weed eater, and she didn't even look like she. At first, I started instantly to react like, oh, I feel so bad. I wanted to stop and say hi to her and see if she needed help. Nah, boo boo. What did this woman? She was taking care of business, wasn't she?
Restringing it, refueling it. She had to.
I mean, she was killing that edge.
Now, not all teenagers. You know, Andrew, he ain't that bad.
Yeah. Majority.
Snails and teenagers.
So,
but dead serious, snails do hibernate for like 3 years.
3 years. Mm-hmm. Where did hibernate? Like underground?
Well, just anywhere. I guess they can find somewhere to lay down. I don't know.
But for 3 years straight. What did they? How did they eat? What did they?
Well, I don't. You know, a bear doesn't need to eat when it hibernates either, though.
Well, I knew that, but bears are not for 3 years.
No. But you know, they do hibernate for months. And on an alternate subject, there, bears have actually found a way to metabolize fat while they're sleeping. If I ever figure that out, I'm gonna look like The Rock. Burning it away, dude. Nothing but muscle when I get up.
3 years hibernation. There's got to be something that they do to their body to. All right, 3 years snails and teenagers, but not 3 years for teenagers.
Yeah, no, the teenagers are iffy though.
Thank you for that, Nature Minute with Sassy. Okay, all right. One last question that just came through. It's the same gentleman that has sent some in the past. It's from Ryan. What year? And I have the answer.
Ryan's good. I'm gonna tell you, Ryan's good. He came to play.
And he gave me the answer. So, what year did the Terminator go back in time to kill Sarah Connor? Ooh.
That's a trick question.
Why?
Well, because he went back twice.
Okay.
The first time he went back in 1981.
Nope.
Then he went back in 1984.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
See, in the first Terminator movie, he went back to kill Sarah Connor before she had John Connor, which sent Kyle Reese back in time, who's John Connor's father. In Terminator Genesis, he went back even farther and came back through. So she grew up with him raising her. You're pack a lunch before you come to them Terminator questions. I know the difference between an 800, a 1000, and 1100 model.
The actual answer is what he wrote. He left the year 2029 and was sent back to 1984 to kill Sarah.
That's the first time, though. That don't even count. After Genesis, that's totally rewritten.
You hear that, Ryan?
Pack a lunch, you come to them Terminator questions. I'm telling you, I know the difference between an 800, a 1000.
Pack a lunch, Ryan. All right, that's it. Anything else, Sass?
Nope, I'm about to go home and put on my Scooby-Doo boxers and watch landscape videos on YouTube. That's what I do.
What the crap?
That's what I do.
See you, ninjas. Take care.